on the recording button. Okay. Okay, so step number 6 is the development. So development convert a design into a complete information system, include acquiring, installing system, environment, creating, testing database. So you also need to create and testing database, preparing test case, procedure, preparing test file, coding, compile, refining program, performing test readiness, and review and procurement activities. Of course, if you develop a coding already, after you design, then you develop. So at design, develop, you need to have a test data to make sure that everything is correct and no errors, is able to provide the accurate data. Okay, so after that, you already develop it. Okay, so you need to have integration and test. So it's at the stating, it's like a pilot testing. So demonstrate, okay, that developed system confronts the requirements of as specified in the functional requirements document conducted by quality assurance staff. Okay, so you need to make sure it is okay and then is fulfill the requirements of the conducted by the quality assurance staff and the users. Okay, produce test analysis report. Okay, after that, implementation. So once the pilot test, the study already done, so you will implement it in the market. Really go through the implementation, includes the implementation preparations, implementation of the system into a production environment and resolutions of problems. Identify the integration and test. Identify in the resolution of problems identified in the integration and test phase. So during the study, okay, the test study, the pilot test, you may have problems occurred. So you have to solve it before the implementations. Okay. So during the implementation, along the way, you will have operations and maintenance. Okay, describe tasks to operate and maintain information system in a production environment, including post implementation and in-process review. That's why we're always having the software updates. They will always, from time to time, they do the maintenance and they will have the post implementations and reviews. Okay, and then after that, let's say that software is no one want to use already. So describe the end of system activities. Emphasis is given to proper preparation of data. But it might go to the depositions if no longer needed. Okay. So product development life cycle. Okay, first initiations. Second, design is similar to the software because software is a software and then product is also like software is also a product. Okay. So after the initialization of idea, you will design it by using the algorithm and flowchart, and then you will analyze it. Okay, analyze the usage and then do the study. After that, you will go to the development. You develop the codings and the product. After you you successfully develop it, then you need to do the testing before you do the implementation. If it's being tested and it is good to be implemented, then you can implement it. And then during the implementation, you will have this and that, and then you will have post implementation. Okay, you might have the updates, like I said, you will have maintenance and so on. Then you have to repair it. Then you can go back to the new idea if, let's say, you want to just dispose it and then create a new software. Okay, so this is PDLC. Basically, almost the same. The just explanation is a little bit different. So this one finished. So we will go to development of algorithm. Okay, so today we'll focus on algorithm, which is just pseudocode and flowchart techniques. So computer algorithm is an order of sequence of instruction for problem solving. So basic techniques used to get the job done. Okay, so this is example like get a taxi. So the taxi apps is first, once upon a time, if you want to take taxi, you just go to the taxi stand. Then you go in the taxi and then give them the address. Okay. So for example, another algorithm, let's say I like to use the ATM example because every one of us is going to ATM. So first you go to ATM, it will showing you the welcoming message and ask you to choose the language. So once you choose the language, they will ask you what you want to do. Withdraw money, showing balance, transfer, and so on. So this is in the menu. So if you want to check the balance, you press the balance button. After finish, it will ask you still want to proceed another transaction. If yes, then you go back to the main menu and then you select the withdrawal and then you withdraw the money. And then if you already want to quit, you just quit, right? So this is like the algorithm, step by step. From starting, you want to the ATM display the welcoming message until the end of the withdrawal. That is the full algorithm. Okay, like from start to the end. Wait, hanging. Okay, so type of algorithm in computer programming. So we are using first pseudocode, and second is flowchart. So pseudocode is an artificial and informal language. It's informal language that help programmers develop algorithms. Means what? When you do the algorithms of pseudocode, this is just a very simple, basic English language. You want to use other language here, but not in this class. Okay. You need to use the language here, I understand lah. Okay. So when you write it down, the step by step, you are using very short, simple sentence. You don't need to write full sentence. Like you are eating the lunch, right? Say eating lunch at KFC. This is not like I'm eating the snack plate from the KFC menu. Okay, it's not like that. So flowchart is diagrammatic representation of an algorithm. Okay, so flowchart is even simple. It will show you in the diagram with the shapes with different meanings for different shapes, and then you use very short items, short English terms in the flowchart. So later we'll go through these two. Okay, so pseudocode. Wait, is jumping up. Okay, so for pseudocode features, what is the features of it? So cannot understand by computer. So for pseudocode and our flowchart, it's not programming language. It's just our human being language that we jot down what we have to do. Okay, you jot down the ideas using human readable language. So no worries of syntax error. There's no errors here. Not standardized. There is no answer scheme for it. Every program has its own version, but must be correct. So for your task, you will have to do it. For your program, also for your project, also you have to do it. And you have to do it before you do the codings. Okay. So for example, you want to calculate the sum and average for 10 numbers. This is a pseudocode for repeat structure, which is the looping. Okay, so this is a little bit difficult for your stage now. So begin and end. This one you can put start also. Begin and start is the same. End and stop is the same. You can use both. Initialize counter to 0. Initialize accumulator to 0. So you will start the loop. So reading the input from the keyboard, accumulate, increase the counter. So while the number is less than 10, because you start from 0, so 0 to 9 will be 10 numbers. Okay. So calculate the average, print sum, and print average. You don't need to know this first, but you just can see that it is using very simple language and it's the same formal. Okay, so I will go with, let's see now. This is another very simple example. Like you want to do the algorithm for multiplying two numbers. Let's say you want to do A times B, okay, equal to C. You want to make this algorithm. So you want to do it, you know that when you want to do the, multiply two number for that, then you need to have get, you need to first, whatever you have first, you must have start. So means the program start. And then get A. Okay, get A, you need to get the value of A. And then you need to get the value of B. You can also write get A and get B. Combine in step 2. No wrongs, because you need to get these two. You can simplify it or you can break it to 2. Okay, and then calculate result C equal to A times B. Instead of writing A times B equal to C, normally we will write Okay, what is the thing that you want to find at the left side? So you need to write C equal to A times B instead of A times B equal to C. So after you calculate it, so of course you need to display to user the value of C. And then after that, N. You already display the result, you have no other things, means N. So this is the execution sequence. Okay, so what you have to do now is you have done the coding for that sum, right? I want you to do this first. So let me clear the. Okay, so you already typed the coding. So let me show you the coding for the sum of two numbers, right? Yes, now. So now I want you to do the pseudocode for that coding. So sum equal to number 1 plus number 2. You write down this coding like this, exactly like this, for this sum. So once you completed, and then you raise your hand, I may ask you to open your webcam to show me the paper. I may randomly pick, so everyone make sure you do. So once you completed this, and then I will move to next. Can I? Can you do it? Okay, please do it now. I will wait until every one of you raise up your hands. Even though you are not doing the coding, you can do it too. For sum equal to number 1 plus number 2. Okay, so you do it now first. Are you guys with me?
Ya, Dokter, ya.
Okay, buat dulu ya. Everyone please practice it. Just very simple one. Anyone done already? Not yet. Already done? Hello? Can raise up your hand once you completed. Okay, a little bit more. Sulaiman, have you done? Omar?
No, Rector, still continue.
Mukhtar?
Yes, Rector.
Have you done?
Yeah.
Raise up your hand once you complete, Because this is, I need to know, okay? So most of you already done, okay? So let me show you how. It's okay, I'm not going to check you this round. So we want to do sum equal to number 1 plus number 2. Okay, so start, it's also the same. So first is start. Second, get number 1. Third, get number 2. Okay, and then number 4, calculate. Okay, sum equal to number 1 plus number 2. 5, display sum. Okay, and then 6 n. This is just like this. Okay, everyone understand this? So basically, you need to write the step one by one. Okay, so it is at the same level, means it is not under the statements is one by one, then you will have a straight line, same. You will not be inside. Like this is inside number 4. So that's why you will have a like horizontal tab. Okay, you will tap inside. So you will face a lot of tests, the tab one when you have the if inside the statement you have a block of statement, so it will need to be being put indent. Okay, the horizontal tab for the indentation. So I go to next slide. Okay, so that one is pseudocode. Pseudocode, you write the step one by one until the end in number 1, number 2, number 3 in terms in. Okay, but then for flowchart, you are going to draw it. Okay, it's in the form of flowcharts. Then you will have a lot of symbols. So symbols must be correct. So In test and project, normally I will ask you to do, you must do flowchart. Okay, so flowchart is very important and it's very easy to understand also. When you look at the flowchart, then you will know the step. So if it is wrong, then you need to repair lah. Okay, for the project, most especially, it will be very complicated. So the symbol, we will go through one by one. I will explain. So for symbol, this one is flow line. Means that it will connect the shape to shape using this flow line. Okay, used to indicate the flow of logic by connecting symbols. And this one is terminal. Terminal is for start and stop. Okay, this one I like to call it Panadol. It is like the Panadol extend, right? The button. Okay, so used to represent start and end of flowchart. So this one is the parallelogram. So it's for the input and output. So for input and output, you need to put it in this shape. Okay. So for process, mean the computer process the data used for arithmetic operation and data manipulation. Computer do the job. Okay. So this is a process. So if you have the selection structure, you need to make decisions. Means you have like, do you want to withdraw? Do you want to select language? So number 1, English, number 2, Malay, number 3, Chinese, number 4, Tamil, and so on. So when you have decision, then you need to use this. Right? And then on-page connector. Let's say when your flowchart is, you write too long because the program is too long, you want to break it like left, and then continue at the right. So you need to use the on-page connector. So this is connecting like from the left to the right at the same page. But then if one page is not enough for you, you want to connect, continue next page, then you need to use the off-page connector to continue to another page. So let's say at this page, you draw, and then here you have an off-page connector. So you put 1. So at the next page, then you will start with this, and then you put 1. So you will continue the flowchart. Okay, and then if you have next page again, you want to have it, then you need to use number 2, number 3, and so on. So 1 means this is the end of this, and then you want to connect another page, and then you put 1. So you will find the 1 to the 1 is pairing. If number 2, then you need to find the starting of number 2, so you can see where is it connected. Okay, this one you will be more familiar when you yourself have to do it. And predefined process of function subroutine used to represent a group of statements performing one processing task. This one, you no example here, it will be more complicated when you face it. Then this is like you have a sub function you're being called out at the site to do it. So just now, okay, the example of C equal to A times B. When the example just now is the pseudocode, right? Okay. So now is a flowchart. With flowchart, you must have shape. So starting must be this Panadol shape. Okay. And then you have the flow line, means from here you connect to read A, read B. Just now you break it to point number 2, read A, number 3, read B, right? But when you do the flowchart, you can combine it in one parallelogram. Okay, you can draw this, read A and B. After you read done, then computer will process. So this is process. And this one is input. Okay, this one is terminal. Okay, so after the computer calculates C equal to A times B, they get the C. Of course, you want to display to user the result. So display the result is showing output. So this is output. That's why it's also using the parallelogram. And after that, you already display the result, means you already achieved the purpose. So you stop it. You stop the program. That's why you have the Panadol. So all this shape must be correct. You cannot reverse. Some student will write the wrong one. They will put this like this, and then they will have this. Cannot, incorrect. If you confuse with it, then you will get the incorrect one. Then you will have not get the marks. And some they want to draw shape like this. Yesterday there's one student, they want to draw shape. You are in the crowd, is it? Cannot, you cannot draw like everything you draw. It's not one student. Sometimes I don't understand why a student like to draw this. And then they put read A and B. You cannot do that. You must follow the shape. So what I want you to do now is, just now you already complete the pseudocode for the example, right? So you have to do the flowchart. Based on this one, this example that I'm showing you, you do for that number one, that number one, number two equal to sum. Let me clear this. Okay, so sum equal to number one plus number two. So now you do the flowchart for this, and you put down your hand first. Once you complete it, you raise up your hand. Okay, you practice it now. Practice it now. Put down your hand first. Put your hand down. If you have questions, you can let me know. I will wait for everyone to complete it first. Okay. To the few more students to go. Hema, have you done?
Yes, doctor.
Okay, raise up your hand. Mukhtar, have you done?
Yeah, doctor.
Okay. If you've done, you raise up your hand so I can see. Noresa? Norelisa, sorry. No, or
Belum, dokter.
belum. Okay, take your time. Is it? Are you okay? This one who? Mohammed. Dan
Doctor,
Omar.
actually, I tak faham nak start.
For this flowchart, you mean? Okay, later I
Yes.
explain. Later I explain. Omar, are you okay?
Doctor, I still can't work yet because I don't have the software.
Okay, but you can do it according to this, right? Sum equal to number 1 plus number 2, because this is just for a coding and just for things to do. No need have coding also can. Just you want to have the sum for number 1 plus number 2. So what you have to do when you want to calculate that? Isma, have you done, Isma?
Yes, doctor.
Okay, so you can raise up your hands too. And then next, Sulaiman. Sulaiman? Sulaiman? Sulaiman?
Yes, exactly.
Have you done?
No, Rachel.
You do understand or you haven't done it yet?
Yeah, still didn't understand.
Okay, so it's okay. I'm going to explain it. So because later you have another example. So let me explain this again. So first, let me get the pen. Okay, first, same thing, you have a start. Okay, so start. What you have to start is, first you need to read A and read B here is right. So what you have to do is when you calculate the sum, you must have number 1 and number 2. So you need to get it from user. Okay, so you can write read or you can write get. Okay, get number 1, get number 2. Yes.
You can use both the read and get.
Yes.
Okay.
The words and there is no answer scheme, not standardized. As long as you can write get, you can write input. If you write input, also can.
Okay.
Okay. So this one you need to use it with parallelogram. Okay. So make sure you put the arrow so you know where to where. So this is the error. After you get the number, you already get number 1 and number 2. So you have to process it to calculate it. So you can put calculate sum equal to number 1 plus number 2. Okay, and then this one is rectangular shape. Rectangular, because it's process. This one is input. This one is process. Okay, and this one, after that you already calculate, so you want to show the user. So you put display sum. Means you display the result. Okay, after you display it, means you already finished. So you can put end or either you put stop. Same thing. Panel. Okay, so this is the output. So this is the very simple step, and this is what we call the sequential statement, which is 1 by 1, one after one. Okay, we will have 2 more types, which is the selections and repetition. But now you have not yet practiced. It is in chapter 6. If I ask you to do it now, you will get even more confusing. So we will go to the basic first. Okay, so they will have the explanations. Okay, so this is example of flowchart. So this is example. Add 2 numbers entered by user. This one, no need. If you are knowing how to use computer programming of C++, last time you need to declare it. But now using the Python like that, you no need. Okay, so this one no need. You can just directly go to the read number 1 and number 2. If you're doing this, nothing wrong. If you're not doing it, also nothing wrong. Both okay. The most important one is you need to read number 1 plus number 2. And then sum equal to A plus sum equal to number 1, number 2. and then display the sum. Stop. So start, read number, sum, display, stop. This is what you have done lah. Okay, so this is example to find all the roots of a quadratic equation. Ax plus bx plus c equal to 0. So you want to get the x value, right? And what is the x value, is it? So declare the variable a, b, c, d, x1, x2, rp, and ip, and so on. So this one, no need if you have it. Okay, calculate. And then if true is this, if false is this. So there's now you see you have two options. When you have two options, you need to use selections. But this one, no need to focus it now first because you are confusing. So when during the chapter 6, I will explain more. Okay, so you will go to this. If it is small selection, like you have 3 selection of more, you will use this. Okay, so you will have the sign like this. So this is like 3 or more selections. So if true, you go to this. If false, will go to this. If true, will go to this. Like this is you doing the, for example, the coding to determine the grade for your marks. Let's say 85 above is A plus, and then 80 is A, 75 above is B plus, and so on. So you can do things like this. So when the user key in the values, you will determine what grade is the marks that being keyed in. Okay, that one you will learn in chapter 6, not now. Okay, so control structure provide alternatives to sequential. So what you have done now until chapter 4, it will be only sequential. Okay, means after 1, 1. So when you like calculations, you calculate area, parameters, IXX, IYY, everything you will calculate step by step, 1 by 1. All will be calculated. You will not be asked to select only calculate area only, or like example, which one you want to calculate? Areas, parameter, IX, or IYY. That one is selections. But now it's like you have to calculate all because we are at the sequential. So sequential structure, the sequence one here mentioned is after 1, then you go to 1. For like selection, you will have option true and false, and then you will go to next step. For repetition, you will also have true and false. True and false, huh? So if true, it will go back to the top because this is repetition. Means you will have the loop to loop back. For selection, you will have no loops because it's select either one and then you will go forward. But this one, if true, then it will go back, repeat back until the false condition, then it will follow by next. Okay. So sequential structure. Sequential structure is a series of steps or statements that are executed in the order that they are written in an algorithm. So pseudocode, okay, mark the beginning and end of a block of a statement. So start, and then the end, and then in between you can have statement 1, statement 2, statement 3. So for example, you want to calculate an area, parameter, okay, IXX, IYY for a rectangular. Okay, so statement 1, the first thing start, you will need to have B and hash, right? So start, you will get B hash. And then after that, you will calculate A, calculate B, P, calculate IXX, calculate IYY, and then display. Once you calculate everything, display A, P, IXX, IX, IYY. So this is what you mean sequentials. You calculate 1 by 1. You are not having option. Okay, and then you display all of it. Okay, so this is what is meant. Okay, so sequence. Wait,我在上课。Okay, so sequential structure. Okay, multiple statement considered as one statement. So you can see that you have statement, this statement, and that statement. It's followed by sequence. So actually, when it's sequential statement, so it will consider also as only one statement. It can combine together because it's sequential. Okay, so what I have explained it now, So for this, okay, so for all, so for all this, it's considered as one statement. So statement 1, 2, 3, and on, it will consider one statement also. When you do the flowchart, it can be combined. Okay, you want to break it, can. You want to combine it, can. But it is considered as one flow. Okay, so for example, now we explain the basic for selection structure. So selection allows you to choose between two or more alternatives. That is, it allows you to make decisions. Okay, you have to make decisions. So true is 1, false is 0. Okay, so decision made by the computer must be very simple, since everything in the computer ultimately reduced to either true or false. That's why you will only have decision either true or false. There's no true, false, or in between. No in between. Only true or false. Okay, if complex decisions are required, it is your job, okay, the programmer job, to reduce them to a series of simple decisions. You need to simplify it lah, because computer can only take true or false only. Okay. Wait, let me find this. Okay, so for example, selection structure. So for the problems, the example, you calculate the earning from for the company. So you need to determine whether it's profit, return capital, or loss. Okay, and then number 2, determine whether a number is even or odd. So you can, this one also is easy program. You're using the modulus divide by 2. This one you will learn later in chapter 4. So determine whether a number is even or odd. When the user key in a number, let's say user key in number 5. So you know it is a even odd number. So it will display to user it is odd number. Okay. So problem number 3. Determine whether the mark is less than 60. If it's less than 60, then you print fail. Otherwise, you print pass. So this one is also using selection. Determine whether the speed limit is exceed 110. Okay, if speed limit exceed 110, then fine is 300. Otherwise, the fine is 0. So you can do this all in chapter 6. Okay. So determine whether the age is above 12. If it's 12, then tickets is 20 ringgit. If not, it's 10. Okay, you can set all this. So what is repetition? Repetition structure is a specify a block of one or more statements that are repeatedly executed until a condition is satisfied. So usually the loop has 2 important parts: an expression that is tested for a true false. Okay, a statement or block that is repeatedly as long as the expression is true. 2 star, you have pre-test and post-test. Pre-test means you test first, then it will run. Post-test means you will run one time and then it will test. For example, like you ask the user to key in the positive number. So you can set when the positive number, so it will show. Okay, it will proceed. So if the user key in the wrong number, key in negative number, so it will look back to ask the user to keep key in the correct answer. That one is for the validations of number, and it's just like a looping lah. Okay, so basic C++ language with flowchart. So now I already asked you to do. So this is what you have done. Input the number 1 and number 2, and then you get the sum. So this one you already done. Okay, so still reminder for you guys. Remember this pause sign. After the pause sign, this is the comments. Okay, and then this print additional calculator for 2 inputs number. This is the prompt message, the display prompt. This is the welcoming message for your program. So for you to know what is your program made for. Okay, this one is just to make a single line spacing. Nothing. When you put this, means you will have a single line. Okay, so this is to gather the input prompt. This is meant to gather the input. So number 1 equal to float means decimal number with decimal points. If you put integer, then it can only insert integer number. So float input, enter first number. Okay, number 2 is also floating number, and then you get the input, enter second number. Okay, so after you get the number 1 and number 2, then you calculate the sum. Sum equal to number 1 plus number 2. So computer will generate. You cannot put number 1 plus number 2 equal to sum. You cannot write like this. When you write like this, computer cannot run. The program cannot run because it have its syntax rules. You cannot simply make your own rules when you do the program. You need to follow the programming language rules. So after the sum being calculated, you will print, means you display. Okay, means you display the output. So number 1, which means you call out the number that being stored at number 1. Okay, plus in the quotation mark means whatever in the quotation mark, open and closing quotation mark, in this it will show you, you display, because it's a string with a string. Okay, this is string. Okay, so number 2 means you call the number of number 2. And then you put a comma sign, then you call out the sum. So sum means that what have you calculated here? Okay, display the output. So this one, you already type in your computer and then you run the result. It already show you the result. So what you have to do it now is, okay, you exercise 1, a group of programmer has been assigned to make a simple sequential program to calculate BMI index for user. Okay, so list the input, process, and output. B, create flowchart pseudocode of the above situations. And then C, write a program based on the, this is typing error, the flowchart using C++ language. You need to write, this is supposedly Python, Python language. Okay, so BMI equal to weight over height times 2. So when you key in the value, this one need to be in kg, this one need to be in meter, or else you will get the incorrect answer. Okay, so you can do it now, and then I will explain to you what is your take-home assignment. You need to download this one. Actually, the answer is next slide, but I hope you are not just refer to the answer. You need to do it by yourself. So this is the hands-on example, and then you need to do it and then submit next week. Write your pseudocode and flowchart. No need to do the coding for, no need the coding. You just do the pseudocode and flowchart. Okay, so you need to write the pseudocode and flowchart to calculate all of this in one flowchart and one pseudocode. Means that after you ask this program is to calculate rectangular shape, triangular shape, semi, and circle shape for its A, X, and Y. So first you calculate rectangular, and then you display the result. And then after that, second, you calculate the triangular shape, and then you display the result, and then followed by semicircle, and then followed by circle. Okay, one by one, you draw the long flowchart and write the wrong pseudocode. Handwriting, no typing. Okay, and then I already, before you do the hands-on one, I already upload. It's cut. Wait, I already upload in the chapter 2 in the Google Classroom. No, tutorial 2. I already dropped, but I not yet post. So you can check it. You need to upload that here. Mark is 1. You, as long as you submit correct or incorrect, I will not deduct the marks. Time is during the midnight, then I will assign it now. So once you do that, you upload the PDF file in your assignment. I will mark it from the Google Google Classroom. Huh?
That's a tough question. May I know how to do it when I done for my work? Because
you upload it. Upload. You scan and you upload.
Okay.
You scan the handwriting and then you upload. Okay.
So, doctor, the assignment we do by handwriting.
Handwriting, yeah, handwriting.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, we need to practice because for your test is in handwriting. You need to handwriting the flowchart. You need to handwriting the coding. Okay. So what you have to do now is you need to do exercise 1 for this one. You do it now, and then those already complete the flowchart, and no need to write the pseudocode. You just write the flowchart. Once you complete the flowchart and the coding, You show me either you want to present it on the screen or either you want to show me in the Telegram. So I will check it. So once you completed it, you can leave the classroom. Everyone must finish it, then you can leave. I will wait until the last person finish it. You got what I mean? Okay, so you can put down your hand. So now everyone, you must complete this. Okay, I hope actually the answer is at the next slide, but I don't want you to go through it first. I don't want you to just copy and paste. You need to practice it because after today, I will not explain to you the basic of pseudocode and flowchart again. Okay. For programming language, every week you will learn different things. So you need to stay focused and you need to work hard on it. If not, then I will not repeat. Once you're being left behind, you must really be left behind. Okay, so everyone, you do it now. And I will check it. Once you're done, you can tell me in the Telegram, send it in the group, or either you can present it here. So I will wait for you. If you have any question, you can ask me.
The assignment will do the handwriting or?
This one is handwriting.
Okay.
Now also handwriting. You need to do this. I want to see. You need to finish it. You can take photos and then send it in the Telegram groups.
All right. Thank you.
Once you finish this exercise, you can go. You can leave the class. Okay. I will stop the recording because now it's just the exercise time, so the video will not be so long. Okay. So again, same thing. I will upload in the YouTube and I will share the links for you, so you no need to download the heavy file.